In this era of deep complexity.
Okay, Honest Abe. Honest Abe never lied. That's the good thing. That's the big difference between Abraham Lincoln and you.
Beyond the edges of black or white.
We choose truth over facts.
It's time to be notionally accurate.
Precisely, factually, and semantically correct than about being morally right.
Here's your host, Captain Kirk.
Welcome one and all to the 6th episode of the Notionally Accurate podcast. Produced live right here at the One Man's Burden Studios in my undisclosed compound, located in the intersection of Muskogee and Muskegon, just south of Kennebunkport. My name is Captain Kirk, and I'll be your affable host. The living embodiment of rigor mortis clashed with future President Trump, and I underestimated the sights we'd be seeing last Thursday. Remember, the White House resident wanted this debate.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Team Biden set the venue, the network, the moderators, and the rules. They even won a coin toss to determine who speaks last, and deferred. No doubt the campaign conditioned CNN's hosting of the debate on blocking RFK Jr. from the stage. After all, Team Biden and the White House have yet to provide Secret Service protection to Bobby's son. The debate showcased that the cheap fake dodge was a grasping at straws effort by backers of Biden's run, and not based in reality. The walking corpse, given a week at Camp David with 16 advisors to plan for this, showed up dressed for his own political funeral, and it started early. Who is he waving to? The debate lacked an audience. The question of who is really running the Biden regime has never been more pertinent. Attending the debate to criticism from some supporters, future President Trump benefited from the rules the Biden regime set. The moderators did well, and for not totally wrecking the debate, should be commended. They definitely read their social media comments and saw the backlash to their being selected to conduct the debate. A couple moments that epitomized the debate night for me. Future President Trump not highlighting Biden's poor performance and appearance unless it was necessary.
What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Holy shit. It's better than the Rosie O'Donnell quip.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account...
Biden's unhinged, frothing at the mouth attempt to call future President Trump a sucker and loser.
I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taking better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have.
Okay, first off, this attack makes no sense, since those soldiers buried at En Marne part of the Entente. For those not in the know, the Entente ostensibly won World War I. For a moment, let's not debate about the First World War being the prologue to the Second. Future President Trump notoriously loves winners. It is thus insane to think he wouldn't want to vicariously be a winner by wrapping their glory and victory around himself, by paying homage to them. Same with the Marines who were killed in Belleau Woods. Secondly, as usual, Biden brings up Beau, his dead son, as if Beau fought in World War I and was buried in that cemetery. No media outlet caught that in their fact check. Biden claimed nobody in service to America died under his watch. Clearly a lie.
When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
Besides those 3 Americans killed in Jordan, or the 13 souls lost at the Abbey Gate attack during his botched Afghanistan surrender. Next, Biden's fantasy about Charlottesville, a torch rally, and what future President Trump said about it.
I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes.
To begin with, there are no forests for tiki torch welders to march out from. They don't exist, so how can he claim to remember them coming out from the woods? Joy was repeating a lie that even left-wing fact-checkers Snopes admitted was a lie, some 7 years after the riot. Could nobody take him aside and brief him on that? On deck, the dementia patients claim that Trump would allow Trump to invade Eastern Europe. I have no idea what he's talking about.
We found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did.
Both Robert Hur and the Wall Street Journal deserve apologies from the Democrats after that gibberish. Finally, the reply by future President Trump on Biden's word salad regarding the border was a bullseye.
What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Overall, I thought future President Trump did well. He didn't berate someone clearly out of his league, moderated the abortion questions well by appealing to Ronald Reagan, and got a few left and right hooks in without going overboard. Some Trump supporters I spoke with were quite upset he didn't offer more this and that to his replies, but I'm not going to worry about such recriminations and attempt to litigate what he should have said instead. His new campaign manager, Susan Wiles, is clearly handling the 2024 run with much discipline. Jill Biden offered her husband a word, something nearing encouragement.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the... And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Lie! Yes.
And hand down off the steps of the CNN stage.
We have to change Joe Biden, and it breaks my heart. Please, God, Democrats. I'm sorry. We're all watching the same thing.
The panic among Biden supporters was palpable, however. Summed up in MSNBC talking head Joy Reid's comments.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. President Biden had one job tonight. He needed to settle Democrats. Democrats, they always talk about Democrats are bedwetters and Democrats are always panicking. Yes, Democrats are always panicking. They're always scared, right? They're always thinking they're going to lose. Like, Democrats are very pessimistic. This is just neurotic. Who they are. They're neurotic. But Joe Biden's job was to reassure them tonight. His job was to calm his party, to make them feel that, yes, I can do this. I have 4 more years in me. I have the ability and the strength to do 4 more years. He did not do that.
I don't think for 1 second Biden will step down over this debate performance, blamed early on in the night on a cold via his campaign. A cold that seemingly passed right before he went off to the Waffle House to shake hands with diners. Disgusting. 2 quick last-minute items about the debate to point out. No, future President Trump did not call Joey Brandon. He was referring to Brandon Judd, recently retired as the Border Patrol Chief. The him is Brandon Judd.
According to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him.
And no, Biden did not claim he could speak to the dead, although he has tried in the past. He clearly said he went to Normandy to speak about those who had died in the landings.
I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to.
Is it time for the 25th Amendment yet? Boy, I think so. Some Supreme Court decisions to quickly take note of. Big ruling striking down the concept of chevron deference, which, despite its name, essentially allowed unelected bureaucrats to determine how to regulate industries if Congress wrote vague or ambiguous instructions, and providing judicial review in the event that Congress cannot buffer or rewrite their regulations to more specificity. And a huge blow to the First Amendment on procedural grounds in allowing the government, currently the Biden regime, opportunity to pressure social media outlets to censor so-called misinformation, which is literally anything the rulers don't like. Shame on Roberts, Wolf, Kavanaugh, and Barrett for siding with the censors on this one. Camping bans are legal. I fully support this decision. January 6 defendants can appeal their convictions under a law meant to prevent on-air obstruction of justice, which narrows the power of the Justice Department to send anyone they despise to jail. Notice how much anger this aroused from the anti-police leftist commentariat. Post-recording, Captain Kirk here. The Supreme Court today released their immunity case ruling brought by the Trump administration, Trump campaign, regarding whether or not a president has certain immunity while conducting official business, absent a removal of Jack Smith via appointment clause violations. I do believe this was the next best option. It appears the Supreme Court did what I hoped it would do, namely tailor the ruling narrowly so that these cases, the January 6th case and the classified documents case, would effectively be dropped while not allowing a president to do whatever he wanted to do. I think that's the right decision. The majority who had been bullied in order to intimidate them, that ploy did not seem to work. So, good on them. Finally, congratulations to Julian Assange on his release. The downside is the plea deal satisfies the vicious critics who claimed he was the devil, though with time served it appears he won't be imprisoned. Why did this plea deal occur? I don't know. I'll keep an eye out on whatever explanation arises. And so, while not everything is going the way we would all hope it would, in the spirit of freedom and representative democracy and our republic, I want to wish everyone a happy Independence Day, a happy July 4th, and stay safe. Anyway, thanks for listening to episode 6 of the Notionally Accurate podcast. I'm your host, Captain Kirk. More to come on future episodes. Find this podcast on SoundCloud, Rumble, and YouTube. Follow me on Twitter/X at NotionallyACC. That's at NotionallyACC. Email me at notionallyaccurate@protonmail.com. That's notionallyaccurate@protonmail.com. Take care, and remember, even if you can't be factually correct, you can always be notionally accurate.